Hi.
Hi.
You. Because I introduced. My name is Shula. I'm just here as a support system. This outlet is hers, so let's make her shine.
No, yeah.
Baby, you
Welcome back to another episode of Purity and Shulak. I'm Purity Mbogwa,
And I'm Shula Kumbugwa.
and we are back with the Q&A Dreadlocks episode as we promised from last time.
Wanati edition.
Yeah.
Wanati edition.
Yeah.
Sasa unaweza identify kama mnati. Unaweza sema mimi ni mnati.
Hapana.
Oh.
Dreadlocks
edition lakini.
Yes.
The mnati thing was just to break the ice kidogo.
Yeah.
How do I saw you?
I am tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
But we have to do this regardless.
But we're going to do it anyway, right?
We chose this path.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you'll have to answer and just, I don't know, if you want to keep locks, if you have them, if you intend to, if you know a person who wants to. So maybe this could come through a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Purity has some questions that she has been asked before. Questions she has frequently received from people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to tackle that.
Yes.
So do you start or do I start?
Let me start.
Okay.
Because this first one is a bit where it started.
Mhm.
So why locks? Why dreadlocks?
The particular style.
Yeah. Why not just have your natural hair? Why dreadlocks basically?
Mm-hmm.
So nilianza kupenda dreadlocks when I was in campus is when I started.
Mm-hmm.
I just started to have a liking. It's how you can see somebody, you're like, okay, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see a few more people and you're like, okay, they look good. I think that is something I would want to try.
Mm-hmm.
But what was holding me back, I was in Catholic University,
Mm-hmm.
where one of the rules when joining was you should not have dreadlocks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one limiting factor for me.
Mm-hmm.
In that year, though, I noticed some ladies, like a couple. When we were in the same class, I noticed a couple more, and I was like, okay, maybe this rule applies to the guys only,
Mm-hmm.
not so much the ladies.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, maybe now I can try.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I just started. So why locks? I just thought they look good, and I was curious to just have them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Then you can go. Then we can interchange.
This one is on parents' reaction. What was your parents' reaction when they first saw you with dreadlocks, or when they first heard that you are going to don dreadlocks? First, did you tell them that you are going to put on dreadlocks?
I told my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned I would want to. So when I decided, okay, let me just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Nilienda to salon with at least we are given money to do your hair. So hiyo pesa nilipewa is the same money. I was like, nimeenda salon, but when I went, I was like, I want locks.
Mm-hmm.
So with dreadlocks, ukiekwa the first time, your first, what do we say? Your first session, you will look funny. Because they look like the hair has not, I don't know how to explain this. You just look funny. It does not look like locks. Because the hair is very thin. The dreadlocks have not gained volume. Like you just look funny. Yeah, I have a picture.
So was it like baby locks or
No, you have
to
a lot
small
of
locks.
hair.
Mm-hmm.
After when you are done, remember when you put locks,
Yeah.
yours looked better.
Also, they usually look worse than that when
No.
starting
Not really, because
Mhm.
also it depends with the hair. You have
the
a
hair
lot of
type.
hair.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, you have a lot of hair. So when you had the baby locks, it looked good. With my hair, it was not as much.
Mhm.
So the moment it's twisted, plus how they do the baby locks and how they do the dreadlocks is a bit different.
Mhm.
So this one, unapata, it's sort of twisted. So the hair is really thin. And you don't look pretty at all. So when I went home and my mom was like, this is what you went to do. I mean, you don't look like your hair is done.
Mhm.
So, but she didn't. Actually, that's when she mentioned, oh, I know a colleague of mine and a boss of theirs who have dreadlocks.
Also,
So for me, it was not an issue.
it was not disappointing.
No, it was not an issue. Plus, I presumed the same amount of money I was using to do my hair before is the same amount of money I will use to maintain the locks.
Okay.
Yeah. So, how are the first few months with locks like? Okay, so the beginning, because the beginning is the hardest. When you start, that's the hardest. Before they gain volume, before they actually lock, like the hair locks. So obviously you look funny, but it didn't bother me much because I was still in campus. It didn't bother me much. It's just tricky because the moment you the moment you have them done, you need to go back to the salon like every 2 weeks.
For the first few months.
For the first few months before your hair actually locks. So that is it can take a toll on you because the hair untangles, if I would say, very fast. So you need to keep getting
retouched.
a retouch every now and then, and that's where the money thing comes in, because now initially when you start, then because you have to keep going, then it's a bit expensive. So I know we started with a friend of mine in campus. Along the way, they just got tired and you just wash your hair, because the beginning few months you can just wash your hair and it goes back to
the normal.
So it requires a lot of patience. Yeah, it is not for the faint-hearted. Yeah.
So the next question was, are locks high or low maintenance? So you've already said that in the beginning it's high because you need to go and get a retouch every 2 weeks.
Yes.
What about now, currently?
Now,
after they've already
the moment they have gained the volume, they have locked, it's not high maintenance. It's just like your normal hair. Like I go in once a month, which I would presume is you would do with your normal braids or something. Yeah. So when you start, it's expensive. As you move along, it's very normal. Yeah.
Okay.
What products do I use? For my locks, I didn't bring it with me. I just use the normal wax. I will insert a picture. We'll insert a picture of the wax. But for moisturizing and a leave-in treatment, I go with TCB. There's also one that I know of that has currently run out, but I will insert a picture.
Okay.
It's also a good one. But I have not found something that truly works for me, because I always have a challenge with dandruffs. Yeah. So I'm yet to figure it out. But for now, whatever I'm using is working.
I remember there's a time you had a problem with white spots. Did you get something that worked?
White spots. Okay. Which we will answer in what's
there's
the
also
most...
a question on that.
Yeah, there's a question on that.
Okay, so For how long have you had your locks?
I have had them for 8 years on counting.
Mm-hmm.
October this year will be 9 years.
You see, takes a lot of patience.
Actually,
It
I know
does.
previously in the Dreadlocks version, the previous episode, I said October 2015. I just looked at a picture I took. It was October 2014.
Whoa.
Yeah. So October this year, we hit 9 years.
And they have really grown.
They have grown, but at this point, I don't feel like they are growing
any
anymore. I feel like they have stagnated. Yeah. So yeah, 9
But
years.
does they really stagnate? Maybe one day we'll just wake up and be like, maybe it's just because like I'm used to seeing you. You're used to seeing your locks. So maybe if you meet someone who has not seen you in a long time, maybe they may notice the
difference.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I've seen guys whose locks go like way down. These reggae artists.
You want to imagine when we'll get there?
I know, but it can at least get to the
Yeah.
It can get to your lower back.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Because now they are my what do you call mgongo?
Your back.
My back. They are almost half. They're here, right?
So
and there's all okay. I've already been styled, so you can imagine when you let it loose, it's half full.
So maybe it even reaches your lower, but no, it does not reach your lower back.
Yeah, now presuming it grows, continues to grow, then it will get to my lower back. Yeah. Are they heavy? I know there's a friend of mine who asks, especially every time, at times you can tie it. So at times when it looks like it's heavy, but it's not heavy. It's absolutely not heavy completely. So when you wash, that's when now
it becomes heavy.
But are they heavy? No, they're not. Yeah.
Okay. At this point, will you shave or sell your dreadlocks?
Yes, I do intend to shave them.
Wait, why?
Yes.
Mbona?
Just because I want a different look at some point.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, what look?
I don't know. I will have short hair. Maybe I will
short
try.
Hair.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. I imagine in my 30s I want a different look.
A different look.
Yeah.
So will you sell your dreadlocks?
So I will shave. Will I sell? I feel like I'm a bit too attached.
So you'll just keep them?
I'll keep them. Maybe then I'll have changed my mind. But for now, I think I'll just have them.
Yeah, you can keep them as a souvenir.
Yeah.
You know, at one time you wanted to have dreadlocks. And I remember convincing her not to shave so that we can be like, twinning. You see that twinning thing? Yeah. Then after high school, I was supposed to put dreadlocks. I don't know what happened.
I know what happened.
I ended up having baby locks. Then I also shaved
No, I know the challenge. One challenge you had is also the parents' approval.
Mom was completely against it.
Have then there dreadlocks in whose
Then there was that. Do you remember Dad's reaction?
You can't. You can't.
The guy did not even have to speak. Just the look and the reaction of atunataka kufanya nini. Just that, and you're like,
yeah.
But I don't know. Would I have locks now? Like,
would you reconsider?
Maybe baby locks.
With the baby
I don't
locks,
know.
you looked like it just gave you a different look.
I feel like I'll go back to the baby locks. Like these full blown locks. I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
Maybe I'll pass that on to my kid.
Okay.
If they want to, that is.
If they want to. Yeah, I also feel that's something that does what.
But I really wanted dreadlocks.
Yeah. He was obsessed.
At some point I felt like being defiant then. you become defiant, then the money just goes.
Yeah.
The funding, then you're like, ah,
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
Because what
And
you,
again, breaking the relationship because of dreadlocks.
yeah, it's not really
Worth it.
Yeah, plus for you, the amount of money you use on your normal hair compared to what you will use with locks is definitely going to be a bit higher.
Yeah.
I just remembered one thing that hindered me also. Now back then in, I would say 2012, 2013, 2014 was career. Career. I was very unsure what the career or what the job market looks like and what employers
want. Yeah.
So I was always thinking, now if I have locks, how will that impact? Like
maybe
if
it may
I
paint a
go,
negative picture.
yeah, maybe it's
You may
something that is
be
not
discriminated.
acceptable. Maybe so. I really, by the way, I went back and forth, and that's why I also remember when you were saying you want dreadlocks. I don't know that you remember, but I remember mentioning also, you also need to know how your career path will go, because with some of these career paths, you can't have
dreadlocks,
especially for a guy. Yeah,
I feel like the corporate culture is more lenient to the ladies,
than it is
in regards
to,
to dreadlocks. Yeah,
than it is to the guys.
But I've seen that companies are now adopting that. I know of a couple of media houses where people have dreadlocks.
Yeah. But it depends.
I
with
think
your
the dynamics
role.
are changing. Yeah.
It depends with your role also.
Because Willie had dreadlocks, but I think he was moved from the news desk.
And he was doing more of entertainment.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
But it would be very risky to have someone like who Chatuon, like Sam Gituk with dreadlocks. I think the company will just be like, no.
Yeah.
That guy has to go home.
Yeah. And I remember, I think I can call him a distant relative. No, my brother-in-law was telling me, is he my brother-in-law? Yes. I confuse. I'm not very good with the family trees and all that. Of a guy, their relative, who had locks and went to a job, and they were given an option to, you can either go do away with your locks and come back, or you can just forego the opportunity. So career also
limits you.
It limits what you can do. Yeah. What's the most annoying thing about locks? The white residue you mentioned, the lint, they call it lint. So what happens with some of the salons or your hairdresser, they could use a lot of product on your locks. And so if it does not do what? Normally you go in the dryer after, right? If that does not melt off, then it remains stuck in your locks. And so as the locks are continuing to lock, I don't know whether that makes sense. It's stuck. It gets stuck. And even I have them. If we were to check, and it's either because of residue, wax imekwamilia uko ndani, or you're sleeping and you don't put something over your head. So if there is, especially with these blankets, these blankets, leave alone the duvets.
Blanketi kawaida, the ones you used to use in high school.
Yeah, if those, I don't know what you're going to call them, get stuck in your hair and they tangle, trust me,
you're done.
I think I don't know whether you've ever seen a person with locks and you can tell, like it's so obvious, the white
residue.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, have you seen?
No. I think I've not been that observant. I only noticed yours, and it's because you kept mentioning it.
Yeah.
Others before it was not visible to me.
So the worst thing you can do now is try to go getting in to get rid of it. because what it does, it results to this hair is gonna fall off anytime. So it only weakens.
Your locks.
Yeah, there is no product, there is no conditioning or what that will get it out. And the unfortunate thing is, I have been at a salon and noticed somebody with the white residue, the lint, and their hair, it was not as long. Something can be done about that. You can at least try to recover that when the hair is not too long. And they just, move
Brushed
on
it off.
like nothing is happening. So my advice would be, if you're putting locks, I don't know whether you're going to buy 2 mirrors or 3, because at times you can't see your hair, but you need to be very observant of that, so that the next time you go to your hairdresser, you're like,
I have these spots. We need to do something about
there's
it.
this residue on my hair. We need to do something about it, because once it grows, it becomes a whole other issue.
It's like permanent.
Yeah, because
just
if
put
you
it that
keep
way.
trying to remove it, it just weakens. It just weakens.
Then your hair falls off.
Then it just falls. It cuts off. It just falls off. Yeah.
A lot of people love locks. Even if it's not on them, they love them on others.
Yeah.
Do you have experiences where strangers just want to touch your hair? And if you do, how do you feel about that? Strangers wanting to just touch your hair, feel it?
Just to feel. That one I can understand. I think for the longest time I was curious how, Indians, not locks, Indians, how their hair
they
feels, because it looks like they have good hair.
Yeah.
So you're always curious to know, like, how does this? And I had an opportunity, and it's hard. It's not what you would imagine. So
it looks
nice,
so
but the
shiny, oily. But it's
the texture is not as smooth as our normal hair. Yeah. So with locks also, I can tell the curiosity on a person to want to touch.
Did they go ahead and touch it?
I've not had a scenario where, I think I only had once where somebody they just swipe, their hands, and I was like, okay, who's that? And it was just an awkward situation. That's the
Total
only
stranger.
time. That was not a stranger. That was actually my boss. Yeah. I think he was just curious.
He was just curious. How do
I was
these
just
things?
curious. How does this hair feel? Because it's how you can be sat, say facing this way, and you just hear somebody just touch your hair, and you turn, because you wouldn't expect, especially if it's your boss, you wouldn't expect him to do
Touch
that.
your
You wouldn't
hair,
expect that. Then he proceeded to just ask. He wanted to inquire something, and he asked. That's the only time I found it awkward. My colleagues will touch my hair. I mean, so long as we've had a bit of interaction, I mean, I don't mind my hair being touched. I think when you find a person who loves hair, like say a friend or quote unquote a partner, like how when somebody just runs their hands, that one also feels nice. That was just a by the way. Yeah, but
now
really now.
As in,
but I have not had a situation where a stranger wants to
touch your hair.
No, there are instances where they want to, but they have not. Yeah. Plus, it also feels weird, but I also understand why somebody would want to.
With me, if you touch my hair, I don't know. I'll just be mad at you.
You don't like it.
Especially when the afro is big. When the afro is big, then we took a lot of time combing it. Then, like to make it look. Then someone just comes, hey, uko na nywele.
So they're not
especially in school, that used to annoy me. Maybe you had a class in the morning and then you leave the school at maybe 4 for that. Then someone is like, hey, hini nywele. Up to now, I don't love when
you don't like it when people touch your hair.
Nope.
Even if it's gently.
Like I'm usually
ask for permission first.
Don't even ask for permission because
I would
just don't touch my hair.
Okay.
I don't even touch my own hair. Like after I've combed it, made it look nice. Then someone just comes, yeah.
Now you know.
For me, it's out of bounds.
Now you know. Now you know.
Unless you know you can't just lash out on someone, so you're just like,
yeah.
sasa hizi ndo gani tena? Then they touch it again, then you're like, hili tu ningenyamaza niache his life.
Okay. Boundaries, guys. Boundaries with people's hair. Do you have any?
Nope, that was the last one.
What's the one thing that I didn't anticipate? Njoroge Muthoni commented, she was like, you are the reason why we don't have hair. And
why?
No, see, because I have all the hair.
Oh.
And the truth is, when I did locks, I never imagined that this hair would grow this long. Honestly, I never thought of it. I never dreamt of it. And even when it was this long, it's almost like I slept and woke up and my hair was this long. Like it shocked me. But I guess it's because it got to a point where I stopped keeping tabs of it, and I would do other hairstyles on the locks. Like with these, I could go, I don't know whether you've heard of Afro Kinky. Have you heard of?
I've heard of it.
Have you seen the artificial dreadlocks people are having? Dreadlocks like look like locks, but they're not. They're not your natural hair. Nope. So I would do other styles on the hair. So I think at some point I stopped keeping tabs of how long it was. And I don't know. By the way, I was shocked as literally I can't tell you how this grew. Because I don't remember having pictures of in between, maybe say up to here, up to here. I only have them when they're a bit small.
When starting out,
when they have a bit of depth, maybe say to this length. From there, I don't. It's like life just.
You just woke up one day and realized by they've grown.
This hair is long. So I think that's the one thing that I didn't anticipate
about dreadlocks.
Maybe another one that I just remembered that is not here is dyeing your hair. Dyeing your hair, what is the effect of dyeing your hair? Dyeing your hair just makes it weak. Because if you look at my hair, all these edges, and most of them that have cut off is because of the dye. So it is true that dyeing your locks actually makes them weak. So it's good to keep that in mind. It looks good, but it also has its. I remember my hairdresser being like, "Why don't we just dye it back? Just to black." Because now your hair the edges are falling off. But I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going back. But it's something.
You love the color?
Yeah, I love the color. So, but yeah, it does weaken your hair, and they say you need to, for it not to weaken the hair, you need to do a lot of conditioning, just to make the hair
just pamper your hair
stronger. Yeah, but dyeing does weaken your hair.
And you guys only dye like around not the edges, what do you call it?
It depends with one's preference.
I've never seen someone like dye. You can't dye the whole nini.
No, you can.
People do.
You can. I have seen people that have done, but not in this country. I have seen pictures on Pinterest, but I have not seen
anyone in the country
locally
so far.
a person who. No, but actually people.
Not unless baby locks.
No, I've seen. I have actually seen one, but it was I don't know colors, so let's leave it there. It happens, but it's just a matter of preference.
Okay.
So I don't think there is any Any other thing that I have forgotten or anything that comes in mind? Oh, I just remember how before campus, before campus, I had never thought of locks per se, but I had tried to experiment. You know how this hairstyle, you see how this hairstyle looks? You can have it done with Uzi thread, Uzi. And I remember being at my salon at my hairdresser, and she was doing my hair. I remember just being like, why would somebody put dreadlocks? I mean, this hairstyle is much better. Why would you want to go and put something permanent on your hair? So I did that a couple of times. Kidogo kidogo. Kumbe, that's the route I was headed. But I love the hair. I love it. I love that I took the step because it was also a risk. Hey, when you're starting, it's a struggle. You don't look very nice. I think most people will tell you that. But the moment they have locked, then you're good. So maybe one last one. When you're starting, maybe don't style your locks as often. It does thin out the hair. So you see, this hair has volume. The more it's styled, the more
it loses its volume.
The more it loses, it thins out. So if your hairdresser is advising you, let's not style it. I remember mine advising, how about just let it stay? But when it stays without being styled, it gets messed up very quickly. So when you style it, at least it keeps in place a bit longer. And back then I didn't understand why she was insisting not to style the hair then. Now I know. If you want your locks to have volume, avoid styling them every now and then. Yeah, it will give them the volume that you want. And yeah, that's it for this episode, guys.
At least you've learned a thing or two about dreadlocks.
Yeah.
So if maybe you want to start the dreadlocks journey, you have a couple of pointers.
Yeah.
If you have dreadlocks, maybe you struggle with some of the things that we've highlighted here. So at least that was informative. That was fun.
Yeah. And we shall see you on the next one.
Oh, we forgot. We are on Instagram at Purity and Shulak.
Yes.
Make sure you check us out.
Yes.
Also remember to subscribe to this channel.
Yeah. When you subscribe, anytime we post,
You'll
get
be
a
notified.
notification.
Yeah. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you love the content. And again, like I always ask, utakosaje kupenda hii content hata there's no way we are putting out bad content for you. So, and share the content with your friends and loved ones.
Enjoy the weekend.
We'll see you next weekend.
We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Just dream.